Hello, guys, and welcome to the Lotus Life Podcast. It's so great to have you here. Today's episode is going to be short and sweet. It's a really easy message that a lot of us don't utilize. As one of my coaches, Brendan Burchard, says, common practice isn't always common sense, and common sense isn't always common practice. So, I really want to, in this video, hit the basics with you again. How do we stay afloat when we're feeling discouraged? What are the mental strategies there to deal with frustration? Because let's face it, if you're starting anything new in your life, which I know you are, you guys are all lifelong learners, you love learning, you love pushing yourself, you love creating new things in your life, then you're going to at some point hit a wall of frustration simply because you're learning. So stick around. I'm going to give you some tips on best practices and mindset hacks to stay afloat and not sweat so much. First thing I want to say is stay the beginner. Now that's easier said than done, but it's really important. Even as you master something, stay the beginner. What does that mean? If you think of, there's like this really simple but famous analogy, I guess. Famous, I don't know if it's famous, but it's a common analogy. That's what I meant to say. Where like a cup, you fill your cup up with knowledge, with wisdom, but then to dump the cup out and set it back upright completely empty. That is the analogy of becoming the beginner again. Because when you empty yourself out of expectations or this vibe of, I know better than anyone else, or I have been through the course, I know what I'm talking about, you limit yourself from learning more. So the cup empty is literally your openness, your willingness to be taught something new or to relearn something you're already a master at. I can't tell you how many times I take someone else's yoga class and I just hear something. I've heard it a million times, but I hear it that day and it feels new. I don't know if you've ever experienced that before, or someone says it just a different way and you're like, boom, right? The light bulb goes off and you're like, holy crap. I've never heard it explained like that before, but that's really incredible. So that is the reason you want to be able to empty your cup, let go of expectations, be the beginner, and you will really just reap the rewards and benefits of opening yourself up to new lessons. Okay, so the number 2 thing I want to say is expect, plan for frustrations. This is probably the biggest tip I have for you today. Plan to feel like an idiot, plan to feel like a fraud, plan to feel like a beginner, to be embarrassed, plan to mess it up. And it's funny because we all know that. You're probably like, yeah, that's a good idea, Kim. But really, do you do that? Do you go into a new project, go into a new like creative experience, go into, maybe you're doing like a paint and sip class where you're learning how to paint for the first time, or maybe you're going to take kayaking lessons, or maybe you're going to learn how to sing. Maybe you're taking adults dance lessons. Maybe you're going back to school. Maybe you want to start a TikTok account. Whatever you're doing, if you've never done it before, you are a beginner. Yet, we all go into it thinking we're an adult beginner, so we should already have some level of proficiency. No, you won't. You don't have the skills yet. And when we go into it with the expectation of thinking we should, we actually fall back harder and really feel the negative emotional effects because we really just didn't come in humble. And I guess beyond humbleness, just reality. You don't know it yet. That's okay. That's why you're there, to learn how to do it. But expect that you're going to feel frustrated some days. I can't tell you how many times starting up this business, starting up this podcast, just like the ease at which I can now plug this mic in, turn on my ring lamp, get the lighting right, download this, and while I'm uploading it to YouTube, I'm making my graphics for it. I know that it has to be a JPEG. I know about how much time each one, depending on the length of these podcasts, how long it will take, and what I can do in the meantime. I got it down now, and I'm still learning. Man, in the beginning, this was a slow-moving tank of a machine. And now I've gained proficiency. Now I've gained competency, and competency and confidence increase at just about the same. There's correlation there. So as you gain more skill, as you raise your competency level, your confidence will rise as well. So you just have to stick with it. You just have to expect it. And the benefit there is if you expect it, you can laugh about how you're messing it up. You can laugh about how you really don't know what the hell you're doing. You can be open and honest about, I'm actually really terrified and scared right now because I am truly the beginner. And I don't know about you, but I've been in many group settings, especially in the yoga and spiritual world, where someone actually raises their hand and says, I'm terrified to be here. It like breaks the ice for everyone in the room. Have you experienced that before? If you've done a yoga teacher training, you absolutely know that's the real deal. So your bravery, even in admitting you're the beginner and you don't know what you're doing, will break the ice for so many more people. The third point is patience. I have always sucked with being patient. I'm the first to admit it. I want things now because I'm so excited. I want things now because I know their benefit. Like the faster I learn this skill, the faster I can get these videos out to you. And the faster you're taking this information in and changing your life. The faster I can learn how to set up Kajabi, the faster I can record that course, the faster I can get out there, the faster I can make money, which keeps the lights on and my mortgage going, but also the faster you get that information, which again helps you improve your life. So I have understood why I'm impatient. That still doesn't help me be patient, but I've had to practice. I've really, really had to practice. Just being real. That's my cat carrying a cat toy around. I'm not going to go back and edit that out. That was just too perfect. Again, speaking of just on the moment job training, sometimes cats are going to walk by and make funny noises with their cat toys. You just got to roll with it, right? Like it doesn't have to be perfect. Thank you, Frankie, for giving me another point there. It doesn't have to be perfect. Even when you're at the expert level, things still mess up sometimes. That's life. So learning how to go with the flow is really important. Learning how to be patient is incredibly important. You need to practice it. How do you practice patience? Meditation. Are you guys hearing this? Frankie? Good girl. Thank you, baby kitty. Wait. Okay. I think she's good. Back to the show. Patience. Having patience means a couple things. One, we've practiced it. In our world of instant gratification, nothing. And we're such a world now of speed that I think it really hurts us because we think we need to also progress at the speed of the world around us. We think we need to have it down already, and that going slow is somehow a sign of failure. And it's not. Going slow means you will succeed. Going slow, first of all, going slow is a perceived thing. Your version of slow might be really fast for someone else. I've learned that. I'm now gaining like competency and proficiency in all of these digital marketing and my back end management and my marketing and design and public speaking. But like I still feel slow. But to some of you listening or watching, I might appear really polished and fast. But I just want you to hear that and know that I still feel slow some days. And I know I still have a lot to learn. I look at people that I admire and the level at which they're functioning, and I'm like, that's fast. But I bet you that they feel slow some days too, because we're constantly just improving, right? So be patient, practice it with meditation, practice patience by applying it to real, everyday, small situations. I'll give you an example. The way I practice patience is like when my meal doesn't come out of the oven. Like if I bake something and it's like a little extra crispy or burnt, or if I'm making chicken, I suck at cooking chicken. Brandon is the chicken guy, I'm the beef girl. Okay. So like we just know that. I can cook the beef well, he cannot cook it. He does chicken excellent. He's just the chicken whisperer. I suck at chicken. But when I am alone and Brandon's not gonna be home and I gotta make some protein, I'm eating chicken. I just kind of anticipate it's gonna suck. I season it up really good, and that's the best it's gonna get. Right? But like two, I've also just had to be gentle and patient with myself. The more I practice cooking chicken and the more I learn from the expert, Brandon, the better I get. And now my chicken capabilities are pretty darn good. They're not great, but they are better than where I started. And that's really what it's all about. Is progress is about putting one foot in front of the other and really trusting that process. Things that are fantastic, things that think about the products, the brands, and the people that you love, the influencers, the celebrities, the people that you love in your life. They're there because of patience. They are in that position because they never stopped. They're in that position because they're polished and moving quickly, but because they started bumpy and unpolished and slow and awkward. Every person who is successful started as a beginner. They gave themselves permission to be a beginner. They embraced it. And even as an expert, they empty their cup out to get it refilled, to keep their learning skills sharp and to keep themselves humble. They allow themselves to make mistakes. They expected it. They anticipated being the beginner and the sort of the pain of that. And they really stayed patient. And you got to practice your patience. Practice it on small, everyday, immediate things. There's so much in this world, if we're honest, to be able to practice your patience on. There's no reason you can't start applying that to your larger projects in your life. And if you do those things, I can guarantee you're going to feel a lot more successful in your life. You're going to feel a little bit more easeful, you're cutting yourself slack, and you're progressing at the same time. So there you go. I hope those tips help tremendously in really thinking about not letting learning and inner growth and outer growth slow you down. Keeps you afloat if you practice those skills. Thanks, guys, so much. I really hope this deeply served you, and I will be with you soon. Love you.